Hoopez, what's going on? It's Sendai with the Shot Clock Scribbles checking in again with you guys. Today I'm recording this on Tuesday, December 10th. Today's quick episode is going to be all about the all stars on each conference, East and West. So that's right, no reserves, straight five on each conference. I'll be breaking that down. Keep that in mind that some of the players have been hurt this season, so they weren't so eligible to be on this list. Some of the players were not also eligible to be on this list because of where they are in the standings. They could be in the bottom tier of the Eastern or the Western Conference right now. You got to pick the teams that are at least in the top 6, 8 in each conference. So that's how I broke it down. So here we go. First guy on my list is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's averaging 32.5 points, 11.6 boards, and 6.2 rebounds per game. The 6'11", 30-year-old 243-pound forward from Greece is putting up big numbers to start his campaign, and he's in the top 5 right now in the MVP race. And we all know that these guys started out really slow, but they've really picked it up since the beginning part of the season, and they played tonight against the Orlando Magic in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. So he's averaging around 2 more points per game, and he's averaging around 3 more shots per game. And we all know that Giannis is not a strong three-point shooter, 20% clip. And we know that he likes to get to the cup, right? He likes to go downhill, abuse your defense, get to the line. One critique that I have on Giannis, and he needs to improve on this, is his free throw percentage. He's shooting it at worst 61% from the charity strike. So Giannis got to get better in that department. But so far, Giannis putting together a nice quarter of the season to start off. Next guy on my list is none other than Jason Tatum out in Boston. He's averaging 28.2 points, 8.9 rebounds, 5.7 assists per contest. The 6'8" forward guard out of Duke, 7 years in the league, is having an impressive start to begin the season. Those guys are second in the East right now, but he's been helping his ball club to a 19-5 record, or 79% win average so far. During the offseason, one of the things that JT wanted to focus on was his form, and he worked on that with his trainers during the offseason, the little offseason that he had after the Olympics, and he has shown it on the court. His team is 19-5 right now, second in the East, or 79% win average. Pretty damn elite company, if I might add. There, JT's averaging the most minutes that he's ever averaged so far in his NBA season. He's sitting at 36.5 minutes a game. He's also grabbing the most boards so far, close to 9, as mentioned before. His three-point percentage isn't the highest, but he's making close to 4 a game, which is the difference maker in that shooting form that we talked about. So JT, keep balling. This one shouldn't surprise very many people, but the next guy on my list is a 2017 first round, 13th overall pick, 7 years deep in the game, same as JT, out of Louisville, the 215-pound guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. He is averaging around 24 points a game, close to 5 boards, and 4 assists per contest. His numbers overall, when I took a look at them, they were better last season. His three-point percentage is up by 5% from 36 to a little over 41%. It's always good to be in the 40% club from long distance in the league. His points, minutes, steals, rebounds are all down because of the conscious effort that Kenny Atkinson and his staff have made to reduce a little wear and tear on Donovan, because last year he did quite a lot. That's why his numbers were up, and he got injured and didn't see very much playoff time against those Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, I thought he would have given them a good run for their money, although the Celtics would have still run away with it. When I look at this team, Evan Mobley is another component that has helped him in this year, offloading the rebounding, assisting, and playmaking and all that. This is very good for Donovan Mitchell, and I think that's why he's also thriving under the new system under Kenny Atkinson. And another quick stat for Spida is he's in the top 5, guys, of most 3-point makes so far this season. He's sitting at exactly 90 in the top 5, 1000%. And Spider's one of those players I love to watch, and I always give a lot of praise because I love Spider's game. The next guy on my list is in his 10th year from Kentucky, the center slash forward, 7-footer, 248 pounds, 29-year-old, big bodega, Carl Anthony Towns, averaging 25, 13, and 3. Fresh off of a dagger in Toronto last night, the only game going on in the association last night. Cat is leading the league right now in rebounds, a little bit over 13, as we just talked about a moment ago. And he's scoring 4 more points a game and grabbing 5 more rebounds than he did last season, which means Rudy is not cleaning up glass as he normally does. He has an ability to pick up a couple more. In New York, he is 3rd in the league right now in total rebounds collected, 293. He's only trailing Domas and Zubac. Another cool stat, his field goal percentage is the highest it's ever been since his 2017-2018 season, 53%. He is also shooting the 3-ball at a remarkable clip at 44%. They keep asking who got the better of the trade, the Knicks or the Timberwolves. I think the Knicks did just fine. They wanted a big that can stretch the floor and do exactly what Cat is doing. It was a win-win situation on both sides, but I still feel like Cat, he's in top 10 conversation right now in MVP. He was never going to get that while he was in Minnesota. The next guy on my list is a baby-faced assassin, 6'1", 26-year-old, 6 years in the league from Oklahoma. That's none other than Trae Ice Young, averaging 23 and 12 so far in this season. And I got to see him right here live and direct in Sacramento, where I saw him dish out 19 of them things, man. Cold-blooded from Trae Young. He leads the league in total assists so far at 293. Next 2 guys on the list, Tyrese Halliburton and LeBron James, each at 210. The thing about Trae is he gets snubbed a lot for these all-star games, and it's time that we give this guy his flowers and recognition because he's truly special. He's great to see live. I didn't get to see him in Sacramento last year. I got to see him in Denver in 2022, I believe it was, season that the Denver Nuggets ended up winning it. He's also shooting it second career best from the charity stripe at 90%. The one thing I would like to see Trae Young get better on is his minutes. He averages around 36 minutes a game. Quinn Snyder and his coaching staff need to reduce that closer to 30 to 31 minutes a game because you want to conserve his energy. He has gotten injured in the past a lot. If you play him around 30 to 31 minutes a game, that prevents future injury for their cornerstone of their franchise. The next guy on my list is a 6'11 center, 284 pounds, 29 years old, out of Serbia, Nikola Jokic. The Joker's putting up career numbers, man, across the board, averaging a triple-double, 32, 13, and 10. Just remarkable. Cool stat to give you guys in just a little bit here, but he's killing it. Unfortunately, his team is not. He had a 50-piece down in the Capitol in Washington, and those boys still got that L from the party. The pool party. But anyway, like I said before, if you haven't seen the Joker play in person ever, you need to at least once because he makes it look easy on the highlights that you guys see on ESPN and the Instagram feed pops up on your phone. He makes it look so easy. Like the next guy on my list in just a moment here. He is number 1 on the MVP ladder right now on NBA.com. He's averaging 6 more points than last season, grabbing an extra board. The most impressive stat that the Joker has is his 3-point shot. He's making half of them. That's right, 50%. I have a list of other guys that have averaged more than 50%. Right now, the Joker is sitting at 10th on the list. There's 9 better players than him shooting it from distance. Obviously, we're only a quarter way through the season. Steve Kerr in 1989. In 94, Jason Capono in 06. Steve Kerr again in 95. John Sandoval, 52%. Tim Legler, our guy at ESPN, 52%. Steve Kerr again on the list, 52%. Kyle Korver, 53%. Number one, Torian Prince. This season, shooting it at a 54% clip. Pretty elite company. Next gentleman on this list just unveiled his new logo with Converse. 6 years in the league from Kentucky. The Canadian 6'6", 26-year-old Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's averaging 35 and 6 so far this season. Got to see him right here in Sacramento a couple of weeks ago when the Thunder just let it rip on the Sacramento Kings late in that fourth quarter. And SGA quietly had a 30-piece in that game because the way that he moves is so efficient, gets to the line, gets to his spots. He's shooting the three-point ball a lot more. That was one critique that a lot of people have had of SGA is he doesn't take a lot of threes. He doesn't shoot them at a high clip. Well, guess what? He's doing that this year. He deserves to be a starter again like he did last season during the All-Star selection because he deserves it. His fifth in points in the paint behind Zion, AD, Giannis, and the Joker. He's also scored the most points so far this season, 686 points. When I give that stat it's before their game against the Mavs going on today, December 10th, NBA Cup quarterfinals going down. Next dog I have on my list, pun intended, of course, 4 years in the league, 23-year-old, 6'4", 225 pounds out of Georgia, Anthony Edwards. The number one overall pick during COVID, the face of the league after LeBron and Steph are done playing this beautiful game of basketball. I've got to see him twice. First in MSG, second right here in Sacramento in that overtime thriller where he basically just took over that overtime and cemented his place as being one of the best. He had a 36-point game during that contest. One cool stat about Ant, he's in the 100 club, which means he is the only player to surpass 100 3-point makes so far. He's the only one on that list. The next guy on the list is sharpshooter out of the Detroit Pistons, Malik Beasley. He's also top 5 right now in scoring the rock amongst all guards, elite company, and made a huge emphasis in making the bank shot. I'm so happy he actually brought it back because it's a nice shot. If you get your angles right, it's all science. It's all numbers. If you can get on those edges and find the back of that backboard, man, that's an easy 2. Literally easy 2. Word to Tim Duncan on that. I love to see that because we need to bring the bank shot back. And with the 3-point shot, he's leaned into his Olympic teammate in 30. That's Steph Curry up in Golden State. And it really looks like his advice to him is really working. Those guys just played each other twice in the last week. He's shooting at a career best right now, 42% from distance. All right, guys, so we're getting towards the tail end. I got 2 guys left on this list. The next one is LeBron James. He's averaging damn near a triple-double of 23, 8, and 9. The 6'9", 39-year-old, 2003 first overall pick, 21 years in the game. Listen, so the Lakers had a bad road trip, and they come back to home and win that one. I know they had a bad week and all that, but LeBron is still having a good season in year number 22. LeBron is getting assists up, and he's 4th in the league right now. He is first among all forwards in that statistical category. Another cool stat is LeBron generates close to 23 points from assists per game, which is in the top 5. One last thing about LeBron is he's shooting it around 17 times a game, which is the lowest since his 3rd and 4th year in Miami, which means he's looking to get his teammates more involved. He knows where he is, knee deep in the game, gotta conserve energy on both sides of the floor. LeBron is not once that prolific scorer that he once was, where he can just bully people left and right. 3-point ball, shot a career best last season. Had a little slump. He'll be just fine, guys. Don't worry about LB. He'll be just A-OK. Last but not least, 3rd year in the league from Santa Clara, 23 years old, 6'5", averaging 22, 6, and 5, is Jalen Williams. J-Dub was a player I had predicted to make his first All-Star game. I have been fond of Jalen Green because for me, J-Dub is more consistent as a whole. He is second in the league in mid-range percentage, only behind Mikal Bridges at 53%. He's also second in the league with steals, just a little bit over 2 per contest. He's scoring 3 more points than he did last year, career high as well in rebounds in that 6 with the Thunder. Number 1 in the West right now. It's really hard to go against J-Dub in the way that he's playing. I put him on this list specifically because Kevin Durant has only played 13 games this season, or else KD would be in here. He's more likely to make the reserve team, J-Dub is, but for right now, as it is, if the All-Star game was tomorrow, I'd have J-Dub on my team. Congrats to all those guys that made my top 5 in each conference on this list. With that being said, this is a wrap on the Shot Clock Scribbles podcast, where we highlighted top 5 to make the All-Star team in each conference. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys did, make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Shot Clock Scribbles. Follow this YouTube page that I have, TENDAI 530. That's my first name, Tendai 530. Make sure you guys follow my pages for all the latest content. Until then, I'll see you guys on the flip. Peace.